upheaval, inflation is at a sky high, there is scarcity, and add to it already the economic fundamentals of the country are under immediate and they need to be rescued. In fact, monetary aid it needs from global partners, it's upwards of $8 billion. Who will fund this and how will Bangladesh start its road to recovery? Will it be India? Will it be China? And will it be once again a power play between New Delhi and Beijing? Because that's our big focus on India Global today. How and who will ensure that Bangladesh starts its road to recovery? This will have ramifications for Bangladesh, it will have ramifications for the entire region, and of course also for the entire Indo-Pacific, how it plays out. Bangladesh also urges global banks for flood aid, and that has been sent by Turkey. But the larger issue about its struggling economy, how does it get its finances in order, is the larger question that we are discussing today. Joining me on the broadcast are Soumya Bhaumik and Ashikur Rahman. Soumya Bhaumik is at the ORF, tracks Bangladesh closely, and Ashikur Rahman is in Bangladesh joining us, Policy Research Institute of Bangladesh. He's a senior economist there. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out the time and joining me on India Global. Let me start with you, Ashikur Rahman. The fact is that $8 billion is probably a very conservative estimate given just how much of reparation needs to be done of the Bangladeshi economy. The question is, desperate times call for desperate measures. Will it take up whatever China offers, or do you think this is a time where Yunus's government will be tested, his leadership will be tested, and how it goes about repairing the Bangladesh economy will have implications over the larger India-Bangladesh relationship and ties?
Thank you, Gaurie. I think just for your listeners, Bangladesh economy has faced three challenges over the last 2 years. We lost $24 billion in foreign reserves over the last 24 months. We faced high depreciation, 35%, and which caused kind of a very high inflationary environment over the last 2 years. And adding to that problem, we had serious governance challenges in the banking sector. Now, Bangladesh has been seeking help from IMF, and we got a $4.5 billion deal, but there is now a need to increase that further, and an additional $8 billion will stabilize Bangladesh economy. Because what we need is to stop the depreciation of taka against dollar, we need to stabilize the foreign reserves. And if we can stabilize the foreign reserves and halt the depreciation of taka, that will also tame the inflationary pressure that Bangladesh
Absolutely.
is facing.
I'm going to simplify this for our viewers. I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to put it very simply for our viewers. The fact is, right now, there's been a lot of US dollars exiting Bangladesh, and that has put a lot of pressure on the Bangladeshi currency, which means that whatever is going to import will become that much costlier, and that has
Absolutely.
downward stream implications for the entire economy. But the fundamental question, and this is what I asked Soumya Bhaumik, is that this is a time when Bangladesh needs assistance, aid, grants, but what China offers is loans. And do you think this is a time when the India-Bangladesh relationship could be repaired and could obviously, in fact, turn the chapter for a better relationship looking up from here on?
Thanks, Gaurie, for having me on the show. But before I get into the Chinese loan, let me just clarify what a loan is and a precautionary loan is and a bailout is. So, for example, when Bangladesh went to IMF last year for a precautionary loan of $4.5 million, it was significantly different from a bailout package that Sri Lanka had asked for. So that was a bailout package, this was a precautionary loan. And even if you go to multilateral organizations like the IMF or the World Bank, there is a list of conditions that you need to meet for you to get those loans. So for example, for Bangladesh, as we have seen in the last year, there has been a fuel price hike and successive fuel price hike 5 times, and those were more or less in adhering to increase the bargaining power that the Bangladeshi government has with these multilateral organizations. Now, whenever you're going to a bilateral lender, especially China in this case, and you see reports of a soft loan of $5 billion from China, well, in bilateral loans, the conditions are not so, not so
Soumya,
well laid out.
I understand what you are saying, and I get the nuances of how, as I said, there are all different financial assistance forms are not
Yeah,
the same. You know, they're all
yeah,
different. Loans
yeah,
are different, bailouts are different,
yeah,
rescue packages are
yeah,
different, grants
yeah,
are
yeah,
different, line of credit is different. We can go on and
yeah,
on. That's not the
yeah,
point. The purpose of the
yeah,
debate is not to discuss what are the forms of financial arrangements that Bangladesh
yeah,
can enter into. The
yeah.
conversation is about, is this primed for India and Bangladesh to increase their cooperation, and can New Delhi help repair the Bangladeshi economy?
Yes, why I went to precautionary loan and a loan from China is in the context is the repercussion these loans will have. Why New Delhi is coming into the picture only when, say, there is a deficit from Beijing. If Beijing is agreeing to give the loan, there is a lot of strategic interest that the country will have that we need to cater to. As far as India being able to repair the Bangladeshi economy, I don't think India can offer any bailout package or things, or say lines of credit like they did for Sri Lanka, unless there is a clear ask for it. Say, for example, as an Indian economy and Bangladesh having these macroeconomic
Okay.
issues for the last 3 years, India could only move in this direction if there is a specific clearance or a ask on that. And
Okay.
as far as the China matter is concerned, I think that needs broader discussion in the context of the regional the entire regional development.
Okay. Okay. So none of this, as I said, is about the kind of financial instruments that can be used. This is about which of the two partners. You can see those are numbers on your screens, how India and China both engage with Bangladesh, and the economic relationship that each have with Bangladesh. The question,
Yes.
Ashikur Rahman, is that is it a time when Bangladesh would like to step back and not go ahead and take more Chinese loans, take lessons from some of the other economies in the neighborhood? Or do you think, as I go back to the earlier question, which is desperate times call for desperate measures, and you just cannot just distinguish between each of the financial instruments we are talking and go for what is available?
So let me clarify and underscore a point that Shomik was making, that Bangladesh is not in a desperate situation. Our foreign reserves cover 3 months of import. That's fantastic in terms of macroeconomic stability. What the loans were taken for were precautionary. And now the figures that you're showing, that we have a $8 billion line of credit with India, out of which we have used 2.1, and we have a $20 billion line of credit with China, out of which we have 3.1 we have used. So Bangladesh has been in no urgency to go to India or China to ask for political rescue. What we are seeking money from is IMF, World Bank, and ADB, and they will be enough to fund this support. And what Bangladesh has been doing very prudently in terms of macroeconomy, that we are only seeking loans at a concessional rate. We are not seeking loans at the market rate. So if I get loans for 1% that
Okay,
matches
so
IMF,
that is how international trade always takes place. It is always about concessional rates. Loans are always about concessional rates. There is nothing called free lunches anywhere in any part of the world. So even the LC business is about concessional rates. It can come down to 1%. As I said, the debate is not about the financial instruments. Ashik, let me just quickly ask you this, Soumya, that what all are the avenues and opportunities that New Delhi has right now to engage with the UNIS government to build on and create and strengthen its bilateral relationship right now?
As
do you
far
want me
as
to go first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Soumya.
Okay.
So as far as the India's trade volume, bilateral trade volume with Bangladesh is concerned, if you take it as a proportion of India's total trade volume, it's not a significant percentage. But what New Delhi needs to focus on right now to mend its long-term ties with Bangladesh is a lot of capex and infrastructure investment in the border areas that will be impacted because of the unrest in Bangladesh. That is one area where India can move in to see that these investments and these projects are not halted. And just to add to the previous point, I'd say that Gaurie, it is very at this stage, when you're looking for a economic restructuring, it is very important of the choice of the financial instrument that you make right now, because that is what is going to decide the state of your economy in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's not something that I see that Bangladesh should take up any loan or any instrument that comes to it at this point in time, specifically because it's not a bailout package yet.
Okay, Ashikur Rahman, what would you want from the Indian economy in terms of help to strengthen the Bangladeshi economy? The Indian economy is bigger, robust, and in a position to help and guide. So what would you want from New Delhi in terms of an economic assistance?
Well, there have been a couple of issues that are pending for the longest term. These are market access issues related to expediting the money that is tied up in the line of credit. There has been, blame game on both sides about why this money was not better utilized. So I think these are the instruments where these are the two dimensions in terms of market access and the line of credit utilization are the pending issues that can be, issues that can be selected for in the short run. But in the longer term, Bangladesh remains a friend of India. There's no really reason to doubt that the partnership that Bangladesh and India has achieved over the last 5 decades are going to get any destabilized for any particular reason. I think I sense a lot of panic in Indian media, and I want to assure
there's no panic.
People.
No, there's no panic. No, there is no panic. I give you all time to respond, Ashikur Rahman. But yes. I am not allowing you this platform to go about making sweeping statements. There's no panic.
Okay, fine.
I asked you a very simple question. As a bigger economy, India is in a position to assist. What assistance you want? You can't turn around and say that there's panic. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I can't allow you to. I can't allow you to go on that. As I said,
that's fine. We don't need.
As I said, a bigger economy is in a position to assist. You are saying release LC funds. That's a long thing that's been going on. Are you saying that is going to help and repair the Bangladeshi economy right now? I think we can revisit this debate again tomorrow or another day on India Global and come back with specifics. I still end what I started this discussion with. 8 billion is a conservative estimate. Bangladesh will need more than that. I'm going to slip into a break, come back on the other side and talk more about Maldives and why the tourism economy in Maldives is bleeding.
We all love making things last, don't we? Big love to Gordon, whose phone has a lifetime warranty, making it last longer, just like his romance. Oh, love it. And Auntie Marie, whose phone lasts longer with its battery refresh. Hang on in there, Auntie Marie. Nearly done. Phones last longer with our lifetime warranty and battery refresh on all phones at no extra cost.
Switch to EE's ultra-reliable full fiber for only $29.99 a month. It's broadband that's fast, even when the whole family's using it. And it's powered by BT, keeping workers working, live streamers streaming, and gamers gaming, all on the UK's most reliable broadband technology, with absolutely nothing to pay up front. No wonder broadband switchers choose EE. Hurry, offer ends 5th of September.
Greetings, wonderful people of Britain. I'm Tom Allen, and it's my pleasure to declare delivering good news is a daily routine with People's Postcode Lottery. Curious on how it works? Well, prick up your ears and let me explain. Enter with your postcode to play. Own it, rent it, doesn't matter. Winning postcodes are announced every day with a whole host of delightful prizes that could be won by you and your neighbours.
And in our September draws, you could win a share of £18.5 million.
It costs £12 for a monthly subscription that guarantees you entry into all draws every month, aside from winning. Take pride in knowing you're playing your part for charities, with players having raised over £1.3 billion so far. Want to find out more or join? Then why not hop onto our website or dial our digits for a chit-chat. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of August. You never know, good news could be delivered to your postcode.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family and less time worrying about the numbers. Which reminds me,
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money could help with funeral costs or even as a gift for the grandkids. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a free £125 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
You got them all right. That's amazing.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 977 5808 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Welcome back. You're watching India Global. I'm Gaurie Dwivedi. The second debate on the show today: are Indians now skipping Maldives for their holidays? Maldives has lost Indian tourists in terms of numbers. They've drastically dipped from last year. Is this because Maldives started the India Out campaign on which Mohammad Muizzu won the election? His party won the election, and well, now it is Maldives out as far as the Indian tourists are concerned. Indian tourists have fallen to the 6th place in Maldives tourism. And why is this important? Well, Maldives run on an economy which is largely and solely dependent on tourism. So if tourism numbers fall, it impacts the Maldivian economy very significantly. And that's our big debate right now. Let me get in Aditya Shivamurthy from the ORF and Sriram Patel, who is the treasurer of the Travel Agents Association of India. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on the broadcast. Aditya, let me start with you, which is that it was India out all the way for Mohammad Muizzu. Well, the tables seem to have turned. It is now Maldives out as far as the Indian travelers are concerned. And this is going to hurt the Maldivian economy. It is a tourism economy after all.
Yeah, Gaurie, I agree with you. After all, Maldivian economy, as you rightly pointed out, depends a lot on tourism taxes and, charging its tourists. And I think there has been a significant blow with the number of Indian tourists not coming into the Maldives. Well, to be honest, I think there has been an increase in the number of Chinese tourists who have come into the Maldives in the last couple of months. But they were expecting a large number of tourists, overall tourists, to be, to be there for this year. But that has subsequently decreased because Indian tourists are now preferring other East Asian destinations and other South Asian destinations like Sri Lanka. So Maldives seems to be not on the radar of Indian tourists as of now.
Indeed, almost 30 to 35% of the economy is directly related to tourism, and more than 60% of foreign currency earnings are because of tourism. So that's how significant this sector is for the Maldivian economy. And on your screens are some of those numbers that tell you that what is the dip for Maldives from the Indian tourist point of view, and it's been going down also because of some of those derogatory remarks that have come in. Now let's now go up 30,000 feet on this discussion. These numbers tell a story, and that story is about the India-Maldives relationship, isn't it, Aditya?
Yeah, definitely. Look, when Muizzu came to power, his whole anti-India rhetoric and campaign based out of this, what they call as India Out campaign, it made such nationalist inroads in certain sections of Maldivian politics. Again, not to say all Maldivians, but certain sections, especially the voter base of the Muizzu's party. It made such massive inroads that everyone was so keen on taking this anti-India stance. Even after coming to power, a lot of these politicians who were, political activists in the past now started acting as political activists despite having political positions. And, this whole narrative of treating India as an antagonistic power, treating India as a hostile power in itself, triggered these derogatory remarks. And they had some kind of confidence that they could do anything that they did as they were in the opposition and they could get away with it. But now I think what initially happened also is, I think there was a calculation in Muizzu's side that if Indian tourists don't come to Maldives, we can still go and catch Chinese tourists and, boost our economy. But now with the Maldivian economy falling deep down in distress, there is a significant boost and initiatives being taken by the Maldivian side to bring in tourists from India, but I don't think it's working out significantly.
And in terms of, do we have Sriram Patel as well? Okay, before I get in Sriram Patel, on the, the geopolitical aspect of this fact, Maldives sits on a very important destination in the Indo-Pacific. It also is set to be significantly impacted from climate change going forward. If these tourist numbers continue, then it also has a larger impact on its economy, both from a climate point of view, from a revenue income point of view, and that is also going to have a geopolitical response to it as well, because Muizzu has a China slant. He will be leaning further on the Chinese side to make up for the fall in Maldivian revenues and earnings.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, but again, this is where I find a bit of limitations on the Chinese side as well. Look, Maldives in itself is significantly dependent on tourism, and it wants tourists to boost its revenue, but at the same time, it faces a long-term climate change challenge. Now, China has not been significantly investing in its sustainable development projects. India has been, in fact, investing in something called high-impact community development projects, which has been working for the benefit of local communities, be it social sector, be it health sector, education sector. So that is something, that China has not been able to do in the last 5-6 years. Now, we see that changing to a smaller scale, but China has been a significant mega infrastructure investment partner compared to India, right? And if the tourist numbers start going down, there is a high possibility that Maldives economy might go further into deep distress. But the amount of Chinese projects and loans that come in, they always come with a big economic cost. Now, the reason why Maldives economy is in crisis is itself because it has borrowed significantly from China, and it is continuing to repay them. These loans that were taken from 2015, 2016.
Aditya, this was a discussion I was having earlier as well on this show, which was about China's funding mechanisms. There are no grants, aids, helps, assistance when it comes to China. It is loans and loans alone. And the fine print is worrisome because you're talking about countries which are not in a position to repay high loans. So the question I'm asking is that this situation, do you think it's going to force Mohammad Muizzu and his government to probably reach out and mend ties with India more proactively than he has done so till now? Because only a couple of months back was this very derogatory remarks that his ministers had made about India and the Prime Minister.
Yeah, I think that has already been happening. In fact, if you notice, in the last 3 months, we have had 3 high-level ministerial visits coming from the Maldives, and I think in the coming days, it's only going to intensify. In fact, a high-level Indian delegation was in the Maldives reaching out to understand the current economic situation a couple of weeks ago, and to also understand what kind of investments could be offered and what kind of assistance could be offered to the Maldives. So I think there has been a push for reconciliation. China hasn't given anything substantial since Muizzu has come to power. In the last 9 months, there has been nothing significant that China has offered apart from like around $90 million in grant. But other than that, India has offered, budget assistance. India has been offering loans. India has also been providing a lot of, subsidy, debt restructuring in terms of $50 million US bonds that were coming up. So I think in the coming days, Muizzu will, there is no other option, I think, for Muizzu. If China keeps acting this passively, he will continue to reach out to India and he will try to reconcile in a massive way. And I see that coming up in the upcoming months.
Absolutely. And while the reconciliation will come in from Mohammad Muizzu, it's a matter of time. India also needs to be very clear that it cannot afford to alienate Maldives. And that's just how the geopolitical scenario is right now. We cannot push Maldives towards China any more than it already is. So irrespective of whether Indian tourists go to Maldives or not, the geopolitical situation warrants New Delhi to be practical, pragmatic, and ensure it keeps its long-term interests in mind. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Global. Thanks so much for watching.